Part 3 of Law of the Bedroom number 90, Developing the Art of Telling Stories of Sensual and Erotic Adventures. In Part 3, we're going to talk about how do you initiate an adventure and other great tips for telling erotic, sensual adventures every time when you're with your honey. Yeah, good stuff. And then how to wrap up an adventure. Good stuff. So, simple. How do you initiate an adventure? Simple. Every now and then, when you both have some downtime, just say to her, "Hey, sweetie, would you like to go on a little adventure with me?" What do you think she's going to say? Well, if she says, "What's an adventure? What do you mean? Are we going somewhere?" Just say, "You bet. I'm going to tell you a little story about love, romance, and just a little make-believe adventure about you and I enjoying each other's company, making a little love together through our imaginations, experiencing things we've never experienced, going places we've never been before. Stuff like that. How does that sound?" Oh, that sounds great. When do we start?" Right now. Can you tell more than one adventure or story during your time together, on the phone or in person? You bet you can. If you've both got the time, you can storytell until you both fall asleep with each other deep on each other's mind. Just ask, "Honey, where would you like to go next?" If she doesn't know or would like you to take the lead, do so with joy. Anything goes. You almost can't go wrong telling any kind of erotic, sensual story of adventure. Wild adventure. So, here are other great tips for telling erotic, sensual adventures every time you're with your honey gal. For starters, you take the lead and initiate every adventure. Once in a while, it's okay to switch and let her jump in on the action and contribute to the adventure storytelling. Besides, it's kind of cool when she does. Then you get to hear what she likes, and you get to see maybe hear how much she loves taking control over you and the story. It goes without saying, these two are also opportunities for her to practice her taking the initiative in your romantic affair together. This is good. You want her to grow more confident, more and more with taking the lead sometimes. And besides, it's nice to hear her voice tell these stories. "Hey, honey, what comes to mind when you think of this kind of stuff, the stuff I've been telling you about? Where we are and what we're doing and what we're about to do. What comes to your mind?" "Well, I think I would like, and we could do this. Yeah." Encourage her involvement in the stories as well. Makes her feel a part of it. Plus, it's just kind of exciting to hear a woman talk like that. The things that you could do together. Yeah. Always tell her stories that involve the two of you having fun in a variety of situations, activities, and places. Describe the kind of experience that involves the feelings and actions you want her to take. You take care of the details. You're entertaining her, remember? Now, while you're doing the talking, guess what she's doing? Yeah, she's thinking all about you. And while she's thinking about you, her body is warming up to yours. She's growing closer to you. The doorways to trust and intimacy are opening wider and wider. This is good. When you first get started, telephone adventures are a great way to go and places to take her. Experiment with different situations and scenarios, activities. Find out what she likes and dislikes. You might even ask her, do you got any hobbies? Any interests? What are some of your favorite activities that you like doing? And then create a story around them. Speak softly to your gal. Speak in a relaxed, almost hypnotic tone of voice. I talked about that earlier. The tone of your voice should easily help your gal enter a safe and relaxed world in her mind, preparing her to receive and enjoy a journey of fun, excitement, and yes, soon to be sexual encounters that she can't wait to get to herself. The more places that you can take her safely in her mind, the more often her mind will begin to feel comfortable with having a lot of sex with you. And the sex will be that much better. At least, you better make them better. It's live. Build trust and increased comfort levels through storytelling again and again. The more you talk to her, the more you tell her about yourself, The more about you she finds out, the more she feels comfortable with you. The more she'll grow to trust you and open up. Many women are so afraid to open up to their man. Why is this? Trust, or a lack thereof. And I'll even throw in that word patience again. Many men are very impatient. They want what they want. They got to get theirs off. You know what, guys? Stop it. Stop thinking that way. Stop behaving that way. It's immature. It's irrational. It's selfish. And it does her no good. You get 90% of the fun and she gets 10%. That ain't right. Laws of the bedroom is all about her getting 90% and you getting 10%. No, let me change that. You get 100%. She gets 900%. See, I'd rather please a gal 900% of the time, and I get 100%. I'm quite all right with that. Because not only am I getting 100% of my personal satisfaction, I'm seeing a woman get completely turned on, bend over, upside down, out of her mind blown, 900% on a scale of that much magnitude of joy and pleasure. And seeing that with my very own eyes and witnessing it and holding her and having that experience, OMG. So remember that, guys. Don't go in like the average guy, the whole he gets 90%, she gets 10%. No. Let's reverse that. You get 100%, she gets 900%. I love that ratio. Storytell at least once a week, maybe more. And then take a break for a while. Start to miss it. And then pick right back up again. You can turn anything into an adventure. Did you two go to the mall today? Well, pretend you're back at the mall and she's trying something on in the lingerie store. This time you just happen to slip past the dressing room guardian on into her dressing room slot. There she samples everything you brought into the changing room. You're quiet as a little mouse. She's pretending like no one is in there, but you really are, in your story. Well, you see what I mean. These stories can get pretty imaginative. And just think about it. You're telling a story where you slipped into the dressing room with her and she's trying all this lingerie on. Stripping, taking her clothes off, bending over, you taking a finger and poking it somewhere. And it's just cool. These stories of adventure can take you places that you really can't go sometimes in real life. And that's what makes them a lot of fun. Remember, the goal of storytelling is the more you can act out fantasies for the two of you in your mind's eye, the more comfortable she'll become with you and open to doing all the things that you both fantasize over throughout your adventures. How cool is that? Keep in mind the I, you, we use in conversation. Keep the conversation centered around her and you in the form of, hey, the two of us, just us, we, together. Words like that. Say things like, hey, do you know what we could do together? Would you like us to do, fill in the blank together? Here's what we could do. Stay away from any of the self and ego-driven I in this talk. This goes for other conversation as well, too. But, I've done this before and I think we should. Who cares? Keep the conversation focused on her and your being together as we, one, us. A lot of women who are listening to this right now, guys, are saying, he's absolutely right. He is spot on. I really want to know that we are in the story. You're including us together. I want togetherness. Anyhow, pretty interesting. Take your time storytelling. There's no rush. Taking your time telling a story kind of allows the other half of your brain to conjure up what you're going to say. Describe every detail when petting her, playing, teasing, flirting, and massaging her body inside her mind and the creative levels of her imagination for a prolonged period of time. Be descriptive. Prolong the story. I'm going to start with your toes. And I'm going to slowly work my way up each toe to the top of your foot. And then I'm going to grab your ankles. And you can imagine when I grab your ankles and I'm in a certain position and I'm inside you, how I can take your legs and spread them wide like a chicken wing and just, making a wish, just spreading your legs really wide with my strong arms, and then moving my hands to your calves. Okay, guys, I think you get the picture with this. This stuff can really get saucy, juicy, wet. So take your time. And it's these creative levels of her imagination. Again, you are touching, titillating, stimulating, motivating, to the point where she's like, I can't stand this anymore. I want to come over. Will you come over? If you guys are on the phone or something. Or if you're right there in person, she's like, I've had enough. Stop it. Jump me now. Right, gals? Remember, never rush the story to the good parts either, just for you. Like you want to get right to the sex part. No. That's not allowed. Always slow down and draw them out as much as possible. Remember, this is always her story, and you're her storyteller. You're leading her on an adventure and a journey of her enjoyment. Her enjoyment. She's number one. Remember, time will pay off in your favor after numerous deposits of all this sensual mental joy. In fact, just like any story, hey, I'm going to pick you up after work. I got a limousine rented. I got your clothes packed. We're going to be heading down the freeway, making love in the limousine on our way to the airport. But our flight takes off the next day. And I just wanted to get out of the house. I didn't want to go from the house to the airport, and we could, but So instead, I got us a jacuzzi suite booked at this killer hotel right by the airport. They've got free shuttles anytime you want. They'll drive us right to the airport. And that's going to be nice too. We can wake up in the morning. The airport's right across the street, and we're totally relaxed. We made love in the jacuzzi the night before we left. It's beginning and starting our adventure off just right. Guys, you can imagine where this goes. Yeah. So above all, remember, it's what you say and how you say it. That will absolutely turn her on. And ultimately, leading you both together to new heights of orgasm and all that brings. Can we say, yum yum? As it was mentioned before, storytelling and adventures do involve lots of flirting, teasing, probing, unfolding secrets, and open comfort level stimulation for the two of you. Darn. All right, count me in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this stuff is so much fun. And that's the thing, because, we don't have sex all the time. You don't have it daily, nightly. I mean, sex is physically exhausting. It can be when done right. 4 hours, 6 hours, you're spent. And then you got to give yourself a break. It's the mind that just keeps going and going and going. Your mind wants it, but the body says, dude, I can't do that. No, I can't. I got to take a rest. Darn. And the body says, darn. Well, now with these storytelling of erotic and sensual adventures, you could keep it going essentially. Because that's what our brains do. They want continuous stimulation. Our bodies connected with the brain and the mind, boy, that's an amazing connection of stimulation. But the bodies give out. They just wear out. They're tired, and we got to give them a rest. But I could lay there with my gal, or I could be on the phone just talking away, same kind of stuff. I really liked what we did last night. That was a lot of fun. Do you want to kind of relive it again on the phone? But this time we'll do it, maybe we're in Miami at this really gorgeous hotel right on the beach. It's so gorgeous. And I love looking out at the water, and I'm behind you, standing, and I'm hugging you. And we're both looking out this big, huge, life-size window. And nobody can see us, and we're naked. And you turn around and you kiss me. And then I actually pull, oh, no, I can't do that. No, I was thinking about pulling the bed closer to the window. But many times those beds in those hotels, they're like stationary. You can't move them. So nice try. But you can move the couch. You can move, it doesn't matter. It's a story. The bed was movable. It's an adventure story. I can do anything I want. I'm Superman. Okay. Hey, how do you wrap up an adventure? Wrapping up, like, how do you close out by telling an adventure? Well, wrapping up stories and lovemaking adventures usually winds up with her either feeling all warm and loved inside or having an orgasm. or 2 or 3 right over the phone, which helps to relax herself after a stressful day at work. Yes, see how that goes? Driving over to your place or you to hers for a nightcap spelled, I need it. I mean, I need you now, she says. Can you imagine her pulling into the driveway, ringing the doorbell? She's on the phone with you and she says, open up the door, it's me. Wow. Or jumping each other right then and there. If y'all have been in the dark all this time, talking about fun, love, sex, and adventures for hours on end, you're just right there in the dark and you just start romping each other. Yum, 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 yum. Come on. All that tension built up inside you two, it's got to come out. All this time talking, you could have had your hand inside or just cupped over her wet, moist, lip-lined pink cherry box, while her hand laid wrapped around your rocket. It's called the talk and hold maneuver. You talk, she holds. Remember though, she always comes first. Then you follow. Okay? Yeah. No excuses. No exceptions. Cool, huh? Now, if you don't wind up having sex right after a story, don't worry. That's not always the intent or the outcome that we want when telling stories anyway. Storytelling and going on adventures is more about making mental and emotional deposits into the love and sex department inside her mind and within her soul. The best part? All these deposits of joy and fantasy are all connected to you, my friend. A very cool thing. Also, don't be surprised if she starts asking for these stories and storytelling adventures on a regular basis. You know, every couple of weeks or so, something like that. It's bound to happen. Once you take her on one ride, she's bound to want to go on more and more. And a few ideas and tips on wrapping up these adventures. Definitely when you hear her breathing, if she's taking care of herself and playing with herself and she's going to be, achieving her own orgasm. Maybe she's on the phone or something. And then when it's over, remember what I told you about pauses. Pausing. Here's a little tip. When it comes time for you to take a breath and you're paused because you're wanting her to kind of take in and absorb and sponge this story you just told her, or maybe there's a part in the story and you need to take a breath, guys, I'm telling you, move the phone away from your mouth. Just extend your arm about a foot and take your breath. Do not breathe into the phone yourself. That would kind of distract or detract from her absorbing everything. Be completely, completely, completely silent when you pause. So if you got to take a breath, I've been there. Just move the phone away and take your breath. It's that quiet, silent pause. That's what's going to draw her in and really exemplify and enhance the moment she's in, which is cool. And then as you're wrapping things up, yeah, that was great. What'd you think about that adventure? Get some feedback. So what'd you think about it? What was your favorite part? Yeah? You want to try that sometime? Yeah. All right. Well, hey, look, I know it's really late. It's like 5 a.m. We both got to get up in like a few hours. I just want to say how much I really enjoyed talking to you tonight. And I look forward to seeing you again. When are we meeting? Thursday? Friday? Okay. All right. Well, hey, again, I really had a great time talking with you tonight. And I'm glad you enjoyed our little conversation. And I had a lot of fun. So did I. All right. Well, hey, I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. Guys, that's the stuff. That's the stuff that stuff is made of. You know what I'm saying? I bet every woman listening to this phone call right now would love to hear a man talk to her like that. Kind, sweet, warm, sensuous. Yeah, all right. All right, we'll talk again. All right, bye-bye. Guys, start doing this. Start making women around the world love you, love being with you, love men. Hey, I hope you got a lot out of this section, developing the art of telling sensuous and erotic adventures. Law of the Bedroom number 90. Listen to this section, these 3 parts over again. And this is almost like real homework. I'm really telling you. Some of the other stuff you can listen to once, you get it. But this kind of stuff, this developing the art of telling stories of sensuous and erotic adventures, guys, go listen to it just one more time and practice. And then do that too. You could practice like, hey, girlfriend, come here. I just learned something. I want to practice on you. Oh, sure. What is it, honey? Well, I want to take you on a storytelling, sensuous, erotic adventure. What? Huh? Don't worry. Come here. Just cuddle up. Or I'm going to tell you tonight. Or whatever. Just practice, And if you've got a lady friend who's a friend, tell her about it. And then maybe say, hey, can I practice with you? I'll keep it clean. In fact, that's a great way to do it. In fact, if you've got let's say you're single and you don't have really a girlfriend to do this with, you could actually take a lady friend that a female friend who's a friend, and just say, hey, I want to practice my storytelling techniques on you. And this could actually be somebody that you have a little tiny crush on, but I want to practice the storytelling technique. It's about sensuous and erotic adventures, kind of like romance. I'm going to keep it clean. And I'm not going to get into any of the dirtiness. You could save that for yourself when you just start talking to yourself, or just practice by yourself. But the point is, when you're actually talking to someone real in life, you actually get their feedback. And just be romantic about it. In fact, you can even ask them, let's say they're single too, this female, what's some place that you'd like to go? What's something you'd like to do with, a man? And you don't have to give me details, but you're creating dialogue. You're creating curiosity. You're practicing. And you know what you're doing? You're socializing with the female species. And that's a good thing. Whew. All right. That was a lot. I actually love that section a lot. It's been a part of my life for a long time. Just telling these erotic adventures and storytelling and romantic adventures on the phone. And then now on Zoom, 12-hour call. Oh my gosh, yikes. You can see how awesome this stuff is. Okay, let's continue to the next law of the bedroom in this chapter. Law of the bedroom number 91. Create just the right environment so you and your honey gal can make love for hours and hours and hours on end.